Hello friends, welcome to this amazing platform of Amazon Academy where you can learn from top educators of India. And today we are going to discuss Watson and Crick model of DNA from the chapter of biomolecule, which is a class 11th biology chapter. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, welcome to Amazon Academy. Okay, now this model of DNA is given by Watson and Crick. Okay, so nucleic acid, that is DNA, for example, they exhibit a wide variety of secondary structures. Okay, for example, one of these secondary structures were exhibited by DNA is famous Watson and Crick model. So these are the two scientists which have explained this model, and for that they were honored by Nobel Prize. Okay, so let's understand more about this Watson and Crick model. So it looks something like this. Okay, we have two anti-parallel strands. What is the meaning of anti-parallel? Suppose this is one strand. Okay, it is going from 5 prime end to the 3 prime end like this, and the second strand is going like this from 5 prime to 3 prime. Okay, so these are two DNA strands, like here you can see, and then they are twisted helically. Okay, so these together they are joined by hydrogen bonds. Okay, so they are joined by hydrogen bonds. Okay, so these are the two strands. Okay, so let's go into detail. Okay, then we will discuss this again. Okay, so first of all, the model says, the Watson and Crick model says that DNA exists at double helix. This I have shown you. Okay, let me show you again. Okay, so these are the double helix. Okay, means they are two strands, okay, which are in a helical form. Okay, so this is known as double helix. Okay, now these two strands, if we just uncoil them, so these two strands, for example, suppose this is one strand. Let me just draw it, one strand. Okay, suppose this is one strand. Okay, like this, and let me make second strand. Okay, like this. Okay, these are two different strands. Okay, so these are two strands. Okay, this is, suppose this is strand A, and this is strand B. Okay, strand B. Okay, so these two strands of polynucleotide, means each strand is a polymer of nucleotides. Nucleotides, I hope you know what are nucleotides. Nucleotides are basically consist of three things. Okay, first of all, they have the pentose sugar. Okay, in case of DNA we have deoxyribose sugar. Okay, so this is the pentose sugar. Okay, C5. On the C1 we have the nitrogenous bases. Okay, for example adenine. Okay, and on C5 we have the phosphate group. Okay, so these are the nucleotides. Okay, they are joined together by phosphodiester bonds. Okay, suppose this is one nucleotide. Okay, this is second nucleotide. Okay, these are third nucleotides, these are four nucleotides. Okay, so they are joined together. Okay, they are joined together, suppose like this. Okay, like this, like this. Okay, by phosphodiester bonds. Okay, same thing is going to happen here. This is one nucleotide, this is second nucleotide, this is third nucleotide, and this is fourth nucleotide. Okay, they are also joined together by like this. Okay, now these two strands are anti-parallel. What does it mean? That they run in opposite direction. Okay, so we name them depending on the carbon which is free. For example, here you can see fifth carbon is free, so it is known as 5 prime end. Okay, and if you see the downwards, the last of this nucleotide will have this C3 as free. Okay, so it will be known as 3 prime end. Okay, so this will be, suppose 5 prime end, and this is the 3 prime end, and this will be in reverse order. So this will be 3 prime end, and this will be 5 prime end. Okay, so as you can see the direction, 5 prime to 3 prime, this is facing downwards, and 5 prime to 3 prime, this is facing upwards. Okay, so these are two anti-parallel strands. Okay, now these two strands are joined together by hydrogen bonds. Okay, means we have the nitrogen bases. Suppose here we have the A. Okay, here we have the T. Okay, like this. Here we have the C, here we have the G. Okay, like this, again T and A, and again G and C. Okay, now as a rule, between A and T we have the 2 hydrogen bonds, and between C and G we have the 3 hydrogen bonds. So 2 and 3. Okay, so these are the hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds. So this is the uncoiled form of the DNA. In actuality, in nature, it exists as the double helical structure. Okay, So the backbone is formed by the sugar phosphate sugar chain, as I have shown you. Okay, this is the backbone, this is the backbone. Okay, this is the backbone which have this sugar, that is pentose sugar, and we have this phosphate. Okay, so we have phosphate, we have sugar, and again we will have second pentose sugar here. Okay, so this form the backbone of the DNA. Okay, so the nitrogen bases are projected more or less perpendicular to the backbone, but they are facing inside. This we have seen. So these are perpendicular to this backbone of the sugar phosphate sugar backbone, and they are forming double bonds or triple bonds with the complementary bases. Okay, now there are two hydrogen bonds between A and T. This we have seen. Okay, that is adenine and thymine, and then we have three hydrogen bonds between G and C. Okay, G and C, we have the three hydrogen bonds. Okay, so this is a rule. Okay, okay. Now each strand appears like a helical staircase. Okay, each step of ascent is represented by bases of pairs. Okay, base pair, that is adenine, like it is paired with thymine. So we have purines paired with pyrimidines. Okay, and each step of ascent strand turns by 36 degrees Celsius. Now we need to understand that. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to draw a very simple diagram. Okay, we will not draw the actual diagram because we need to understand the concept here rather than how to draw the diagram. Okay, so let me just make a very basic diagram. Okay, suppose this is the one strand. Okay, and let me draw a second strand. Okay, suppose like this, like this. Okay, so from this point till this point, okay, we have turned 360 degree. Okay, so this completes one pitch or one spiral. Okay, one spiral. Okay, one pitch or one spiral. Okay, so the angle from this point to this point, suppose this is point A and this is point B, so angle between point A and point B is 360 degrees. Okay, now this in one pitch or one spiral we have 10 base pair. Okay, suppose here we have the A, here we have the T, so double bond, then we have the C and triple bond, we have the G. Okay, so in similar fashion we have 10 base pairs. Okay, so these are bases and they exist as pairs, so these are known as base pairs. Okay, so we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5. Okay, then we have 6, we have 7, we have 8, we have 9, and we have 10. Okay, so in one pitch we have 10 base pair, so the total angle is 360 degrees. If I ask you what is the angle between two base pair, okay, this will be 360 upon में 10, so it becomes 36 degrees. Okay, it becomes 36 degree. I hope this concept is clear in your mind. Okay, now let's talk about the length. Okay, so this length here, okay, this length from point A to point B is total length will be 34 Armstrong. Okay, I hope you know what is Armstrong. Armstrong is equal to 10 raised to power minus में 10 meter. Okay, okay, so 34 Armstrong. Okay, so this is the total length from point A to point B. If I want to find the length between two base pair, how much it will be? Again the same formula, 34 upon में 10, that becomes 3.4 Armstrong. Okay, so there are two things you need to focus on. First of all is the length, and second we need to focus on the angle. Okay, so if they're talking about the angle in the question, the total angle will be 360 and the angle between two base pairs will be 36 degree. Means at each turn of this staircase, you can compare this to a staircase. At each turn between the two base pair there is a change of 36 degree angle, or you can say there is an ascent of 36 degree angle. Okay, 36 here, then 36 here, then 36 here, like this. Okay, and if they are asking about the length between one pitch or one spiral, total length will be 34 Armstrong, and length between the two base pairs it will be around 3.4 Armstrong. Okay guys, so let's go. Okay, So that's why it's written that at each step of ascent the strand turns by 36 degrees. That is, angle between two base pairs is 360 by 10, because there are 10 base pairs within one pitch or one spiral, so the angle becomes 36 degrees. Okay. Now one full turn of helical strand would involve 10 steps or 10 base pairs. This we have seen already. The pitch would be 34 Armstrongs. Again, this pitch, okay, this one pitch or one spiral would be 34 Armstrong. Okay. So the rise per base pair, now they are talking about the distance. Okay, we have seen the angle, now they are talking about the distance. It will be 34 by 10 because we have 10 base pair within one pitch, and the length of one pitch will be 34 Armstrong. So divided by 10, it becomes 3.4 Armstrong. Okay, this form of DNA with above mentioned salient feature is called as BDNA. Okay, we can have A DNA, we can have B DNA, we can have C DNA, we can have Z DNA. They have different distances for that. Okay, so for BDNA we have 34 Armstrong as the pitch. Okay, so now to summarize, let me summarize on this diagram. Okay guys, so this is one pitch from this area, from this point to this point. Okay, this is one pitch. Okay, let me just write this. This is, okay, one pitch. Okay, and as you can see, it is written 3.4 nanometer, or we can simply write 34 Armstrong. Okay, 34 Armstrong. So between two base pair it will be 34 by 10 is equal to 3.4 Armstrong. Okay, then if they're asking about the angle between these 2 points, this and this, that is one pitch, it will be 360 degrees, and between two base pair it will be 36 degrees. Okay, so this we have seen already. Okay, now the diameter, it will be 20 nanometer. Okay, and you can see some grooves here. Okay, so this is known as the major groove. Okay, this is known as the major groove. Okay, and this will be known as the minor groove. Okay, major groove and minor groove. This is around, this total is around 34 Armstrong. This is around 22 Armstrong major groove, and this is around 12 Armstrong. Okay, and you can see these are the nitrogenous bases. Nitrogenous bases. Okay, and they are joined together by these hydrogen bonds. Okay, so these are the hydrogen bonds. Okay guys, so now we can see how these, these are arranged, why this is called as 5' end and why this is called as 3' end, what is the logic behind that. Okay, so let's go into some structure of DNA. Okay, let me draw it. Okay, so remember, nucleotide have three things: pentose sugar, phosphate, and nitrogenous bases. Okay, so let me draw one strand for you. Okay, first of all, suppose this is one pentose sugar. So this is C1, this is C2, this is C3, C4, and here we have C5. Okay, on this we will have our nitrogenous base pair. Suppose we have A here, and here we have the phosphate. Okay, so this is one nucleotide. Okay, let me draw it at least 3 nucleotides. Okay, here, so again same thing. Okay, like this. So here I have C5, and again I have this. Okay, C5 and phosphate. Okay, so phosphate is attached on the 5th carbon, and nitrogenous bases are attached on the 1st carbon. Okay, like this. Now same complementary side we will have this. Okay, so this is arranged like this. Okay, so here I have the C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5. Okay, same thing like this. Okay, so C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5, and same thing here: C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5. Okay, and same thing here, that on the 1st carbon we have the nitrogenous base pairs. So here I have the T, here I have A, and here I have the C. Okay, and phosphate are attached on the 5th carbon. Okay, so these are nucleotides. Okay, so first of all, let's see this. Suppose this is strand A, and this is strand B. Okay, strand B. Okay, now these are attached. Suppose this is third carbon, okay, and this is third carbon, okay, so they are attached, okay, with this, like this and like this. Okay, so this is how pentose sugar, phosphate sugar, they form the backbone of the DNA strands. And in the similar fashion, we have this C3 here, okay, this C3 is forming bond here, and again this C3 is bonding form here. Okay, so we have these backbones. Okay, so we have one strand and we have the strand B. Now these two strands are joined by hydrogen bonds. Okay, so we have two hydrogen bonds here, again two here, and again three here. Okay, now you can see here that this C3 is free. Okay, and on this C5 is involved in the bond formation. Again C5 is involved in bond formation, but this C5 is only having phosphate, it is not involved in the bond formation. Okay, so that's why this is known as 3' end. Okay, and this is known as the 5' end. Okay, in similar cases you can see this C5 is free, so this is known as 5' end. Okay, again this C3 is involved in the bond, C5 is also involved in the bond, C3 is also involved in the bond, but this C3 is free, so this is known as 3' end. That's why we have this 3' end, 5' end, and 5' end and 3' end. You can see the direction, it is something anti-parallel. Okay, so that's how we name them. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear in your mind, and thank you very much for you guys, for your time. Happy learning from Amazon Academy, and take care. Bye bye.